morning, everyone. We indeed are going through never before times. When I say never before, I mean 2020 actually took the entire world by storm. When the pandemic, we called it COVID-19, it struck countries like China and the other countries of the West. We thought it is never going to affect us. We thought we were immune to it. We thought there would be a decoupling effect, but nothing like this happened. And the entire country was in the grip of COVID-19. And suddenly, we took our own interpretations. We interpreted it in our own ways. Suddenly the world, India, became divided into two kinds of services, essential and non-essential. We hailed grocery, we hailed our subsidies, we hailed our doctors, nurses as people who were giving us essential services because they were saving our lives. My sincere thanks to all of them. Then there was another set of services like hospitality, luxury. All these were non-essential services. We thought we could do without them. In this race between the essential and non-essential, there was a poor cousin. Its name was education. It did not know whether it was essential or non-essential. Before February 2020, education was an essential service. Suddenly, when it came to our lives, education was caught in the middle of essential and non-essential, and we totally forgot about it. In the month of March or April, we realized that we had kids coming to our schools, colleges, and universities. We need to do something about them, we thought. We thought that these people, caught between essential and non-essential, need to get education. And education woke up, the faculty woke up, the schools, colleges, and the universities woke up. What happened was, we shifted to something called online teaching, and we realized that there was a paradigm shift from offline teaching to online teaching. The word online, you would ask, we were all teaching online. The word online also became a misnomer because we were so caught up off guard that we thought that we were sending lectures, classes through WhatsApp or through other tools, and we were teaching online. But we realized that for teaching to happen, learning has to take place. After 1.5 months, we realized that we did teaching. There was a lot of online teaching, but hardly any learning was taking place because we realized that these platforms, the platforms we were using, some of them were hybrid, some of them were interactive, and some of them were single directional. For education to happen, for teaching to happen, the learning has to take place and certain bit of assessment has to take place. So teaching, learning and assessment need to go hand in hand. When we do these things in silos, the teaching would take place, but the learning would not happen. It's like you go to the gym every day, you work out every day, and you do not lose weight. So you say, I've been trying hard enough, I've been gymming, I've been doing everything, but I've not been losing weight. So the similar situation was with teaching. We were teaching online, we were using platforms like Zoom, we were using platforms like Google Meet, but no learning was taking place. These were the challenges. So when the topic of this seminar was discussed with me, that it is whether it's a challenge or an opportunity, I want to tell you, dear friends, every opportunity was once a challenge. So it is up to us how we actually convert these challenges into opportunities. So when we shifted to online teaching per se, there were three major challenges or hiccups. There were three major challenges or hiccups that we faced. One was regarding the people, second was the process, and the third was the tools. When I say people, I mean all the stakeholders, the faculty, the parents, and the kids. The people thought what they were doing was online, but it was so happening that one time the faculty was teaching and the kids were listening. Or the other time the kids were talking and the faculty was listening. So since there was no bi-directional or multi-directional conversation taking place, it did not happen. Secondly, some part of our faculty felt that there was a learning curve because they never thought that suddenly we will have to go from offline to online and they had to grapple with in terms of technology. There was so much of a learning curve that the administration of the classroom, the administration of the online class, And the administration of the tool itself became so much of a focus that teaching took a backseat. For example, in an online class, when a teacher has to take an online class, she was so caught up in a Zoom platform or even a paid platform that people were going in for, that teaching took so much of a back seat that she was totally conscious about how she would look, what would she do, how would she take the class, would there be internet issues, would there be network issues, so people could not accommodate. The second thing was the process. Whenever an online class was taken, we somehow felt that security would take care of itself. It's like suddenly we started taking online classes and we kept our doors and windows open. So there was a lot of cyber security issues, lot of pornographic content. There were so many things happening there. The process needed to be changed. The third part was the tools. The tools was, there were some faculty, there were some universities, colleges where the tools were not in a unified platform. So people were using WhatsApp, people were using Edidemo, people were using Zoom, Google Meet and other platforms. Now what's happening is, for a person who is at the helm of affairs, for a teacher who is at the helm of affairs, it becomes very difficult to organize so many platforms together. When so many platforms are happening, it is actually leading to a lot of noise. The noise and the chaos took over, and again, as I told you, teaching might have happened, but learning suffered. Now let us look at it as an opportunity. These three things. Whether we like it or not, dear friends, COVID-19 is here to stay. As people say, it is going to be the new normal. We are going to go to our offices, schools, colleges, universities, one day to our offices in masks. And we need to adapt to the new normal. So if we need to adapt to the new normal, the three challenges that I shared with you, people, processes and tools, we need to change them into opportunities. When I say people, with people, everything is between these 2 ears we have. It's a mindset. Once we realize, it's like 3 decades ago, 4 decades ago, when our mothers or we shifted to washing machines or we shifted to computers, this is what we felt. We suddenly we viewed these things with skepticism. We thought our quality would suffer and it would replace us. But it never did. Today our washing machines and our laptops are actually a part of our lives. So with people, I would just request, whether it's the parents, the faculty or the kids, it's only a change of mindset. My dear friends, it's only a change of mindset. The online teaching is just to facilitate or complement what is there in your brain. The second thing is the process. When you come with the process, you would realize that there are certain practical issues, that network issues, we as an economy, we as a country, we as a city or we as an institution were not very comfortable with technology. And number 2, our network and our internet did not catch up with what we wanted to do. Now the network and the internet issues would continue. They would not cease all of a sudden. We cannot just wish them away. Oh my God, when I take an online class, there should not be any network issues. This cannot happen practically. So what we need to do is we need to move to a blended model. People call it split classrooms or a blended model of teaching. For example, there are 30 kids in a class or 40 kids in a class. If they could be split into groups, as to one group that comes to the school and the other, or the college or the university, and there's the other group who sits at home and takes the online classes. Our platforms, our processes need to actually factor in, actually cater to these people. People sitting in the classrooms and people sitting at home should be able to access the content, the pedagogy, the method, and should be ready to be assessed at any point in time. This is where we need to go. The third challenge we faced was regarding the tools. My dear friends, when we use a tool and when we use multi-tools, if we use Zoom for one thing, Google Meet for one thing, and WhatsApp for another thing, or some other platform, we are actually compromising on security. Because a small thing like when you are tethering your phone to the laptop and you're using your laptop by a hotspot through your phone, you are actually not only compromising on your security and also your privacy. So be very careful. These very small things, whenever you choose a tool, whenever you choose a platform, whether it is cloud, whether it is on-premise, please take care that your security should not be compromised. There should be an optimum security posture that you should look at. Because in our race against time, in our race to get into a seamless online model, we should not leave our basics. We should not leave our privacies and our securities behind. This is my message to you, my dear friends. At the end of the day, we should see that the teaching should take place, learning should happen. The teacher should say that I have taught. The child should say I have learned. And how much has the child learned? How much has the child been able to be capable of, to develop skills? The teacher should be able to assess. So in a way, the paradigm shift is not only from offline to online teaching. My dear friends, the paradigm shift, we need to wear shoes of online teaching, online learning and online assessment. So the aim of education today is not to prepare kids for a test, but to prepare kids to develop capabilities, to develop skills and to develop behaviors that we would be good at. Then and only then, my dear friends, we can actually in 2021 and subsequent years say we lived in never before times. It was, to quote Charles Dickens, the best of the times and the worst of the times. We converted every challenge into opportunity. Thank you, dear friends.